Hello everyone, it's Kendall here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what's up, homesky? See what's good. I told you guys on Twitter that I'm feeling a little uninspired and I don't know what video you would like to see, and everybody always wants to get ready with me. And I'm not mad at that. I love doing get ready with me. Didn't want to do it too often because it gets kind of a bad rep for being like the lazy beauty YouTubers thing to do. It's like, I don't have anything to do and I don't feel like putting in actual work, so I'm gonna do a get ready with me. Oh, it's been a minute since I've had black coffee. That's strong. But I think the majority of the people that watch these videos or request these videos just like to hear me talk about stuff, which I have no problem with. I love to ramble. I talk a lot. I also have a bunch of products that I have not tried yet, that I've only tried a little bit. I've only swatched and stuff like that. So this is gonna be like not a full face first impressions, but it might as well be because I don't have any impressions. So this is the first one. Oh, you see my little brush holders? I got me some actual brush holders, but I only bought 2 for some reason, and now these are still in a tea thing. The first thing I'm gonna do is try to do some glowing. Glam glowing. This is, I think this is new. This is the Glow Starter Mega Illuminizing Moisturizer. And this is in Sun Glow. They have other colors, but I thought this one would be the most appropriate for me. So it's like this kind of like peachy bronzy moisturizer, and I was like, okay, wanted to get my hand on the body lava, but that did not happen apparently for some reason, because I didn't realize that it would be sold out forever. But this came at my doorstep, so I was like, okay, let's try that out. It smells so good. What is that? I've already done my eyebrows. I'm gonna put it on my shoulder because why not? The thing is, it's glowy, but it's not giving me like super glow. It's not giving me body lava glow, so I might like mix it. Let's mix it. I'm gonna take some LeBrons because I can't really use LeBrons as a highlighter on my face because it's just a little bit dark for me. I'm gonna put like that much. You see that? Focus on that. Yeah, like that much. And we're gonna put some more of the moisturizer in it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Why did I do this in this hand? Now I gotta, I'm right-handed. Now I gotta figure out how to get that. Ooh. Hey. Ooh, you see my stretch marks? Let's talk about that for a second, because I've come to a very interesting place in my life as far as like perfection in my body and stuff. I might feel different in a week, but this is what I'm feeling like in this very moment. At one time, I was very, very insecure about stretch marks. Or like, I only wanted stretch marks in certain places because those were the acceptable places. Like the stretch marks that run across my booty. Like tiger stripes, like warriors paint. But then I had stretch marks on other parts of my body because I got tall and fat at the same time. It's funny because like at one time I was really, really self-conscious about it, but I don't know. I'm just in this place where I just can't. Like, it shouldn't be a thing where only some people are allowed to feel good about themselves and allowed to feel good about their bodies. By the way, this is the Pure foundation stick in medium dark. What is this actually called though? I thought it was called something like a 4-in-1 or something. I don't know. It's not like only certain people are allowed to love their body unconditionally, you know? You're only allowed to love your body if it's lovable by other people. Screw other people! Like, I'm just at that point in my life. I feel like as a woman, I'm kind of conditioned to always find something imperfect about my body, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with noticing points of improvement, but I'll be very honest, I've had moments, a lot of moments, where that's become like an all-consuming thing, this like desire for perfection and you know, being perfect. Ooh, now that color doesn't match because I'm so like warm here. Whatever. He really wanted to just stop like right in front of my house. But yeah, I've had moments, if my entire life consists of a moment, where I've just felt like, ugh, like just not quite at that place of perfection yet. Like, I'm pretty dope. I think I have a good sense of humor. I'm pretty smart. Don't show it very often on this channel. I'm not particularly stupid. And I always kind of felt like the one thing that kind of stopped me from being what I would consider my ideal person. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all and say that I don't still have moments like that. I have them pretty freaking often. But I'm just getting to this point where I'm just like, my body is worth celebrating regardless of what it looks like, you know? And I'm starting to learn to just take it for what it is, love it for what it is, because it's something that's been gifted onto me. I did not plan on talking about this today, but okay. That's how Get Ready With Me goes. It's like I've been given kind of this lease on this body, right? And I want to take care of it. It's the only one I can have. It's not like I can like trade it in for a better model, quote unquote. So like I might as well. I don't know. And I feel like my emotions associated with my body kind of changes from day to day, very much so in tandem with my moods. By the way, I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution stick foundation. This is an F14. But yeah, like the way I feel, I remember one time, I'll never forget, I was getting out of the bathtub and I just felt this weird, overwhelming satisfaction in like how I looked naked. Is that weird? Like, that was literally the first time in my life that has ever happened. That was a few months ago. And weirdly enough, within a week, that was my most depressed I've ever been afterwards. So what I mean is, like, a lot of times this feeling of satisfaction with your body doesn't necessarily have to do with your body itself. It's just, it's all mental and emotional and, you know, all of that. So I've noticed that this kind of thing that we've referred to as body positivity, body love, is ultimately something that takes practice. It's not like you start off one day hating your body and then you discover what loving your body is and then you just never have days where you're just like, my body sucks, you know? It's an active practice, loving your body. So I'm just gonna keep practicing and get better at it each day. Also, like, taking the focus off of like weight as being the way that you identify loving or hating your body and letting that be contingent on how you feel about your body. Like, body confidence isn't just the way your body looks, it's the way it performs, it's the way you're fueling it, it's the way you speak about it, the way you think about it, the way you adorn it, the way you dress it. It's all in cahoots. And anyway, I'm just trying to more holistically appreciate myself just overall. Like, instead of just looking at the things that I find that are imperfect, just letting it do what it does, you know? I don't know why I started talking about that, but I'm sure that's for somebody. By the way, both of these foundations have blended very nicely. Only thing is, the other one, because I like warmed up this part of my body so much, it actually doesn't match as well as it did before. It matches on my face pretty well for some reason. Oh, I know why, because I didn't put LeBron's in it. Those foundations look really good together. I did buy a few of the colors of the Makeup Revolution one. I have one that's like closer to my skin tone, and one more that's a little lighter. So I'm excited to try these more thoroughly. I'm just using it as a contour today. Okay, so this Get Ready With Me started off a little heavier than I was expecting it to. So let's get on to like lighter topic. Webtoons and comic books in general. So people have been asking me about webtoons that I watch, or read rather. If you don't know what a webtoon is, it's just basically a comic book, like an online comic book. And people have been asking me like, Kendall, what do you read? Now, all the webtoons I read, for the most part, are, oh, I didn't realize this is under my chin. Oh my god. Well, I put too much. I'm gonna look like I have a dirty lower lip. Anyway, all the ones that I've been reading have all been on Line, I think it's Line Webtoons. By the way, I'm going in with the Nars Concealer, the one that comes in the little pot. Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Caramel. I've been liking using this recently as opposed to the Radiant Creamy. Actually, I like them both, so it doesn't really matter. I just feel like this one's a little bit more cost effective. Not that it matters because I have both of them. But yeah, I feel as though I've gotten like a good list of webtoons to read weekly, so I always come back. the ones that I read every weekend, because essentially the ones that I read all happen on the weekend, like consecutively, like Monday, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I Love You. I've talked about that like a really, really long time ago. It's so freaking funny, but also has like a lot of serious topics too. Like it does kind of do that whole conversation of like classism and kind of those like tropes and like web dramas, like Korean dramas too. It's like the poor girl meets the rich kids and blah 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 blah. You know, it does that, but I feel like it does it just a lot better, just to be blunt with you. It's just very good at talking about that in a way that isn't super cheesy, but it's also so freaking funny. Like it's just so funny. And as it gets, I've been talking about it basically since it came out on the website. It's probably I don't know if it's been shown anywhere else, but it's certainly the only place that you can find it now. Or one of the only, because I've been looking for like quicker updates. I'm like, where is it? Is anybody updating this quicker? Is there more chapters somewhere? And I just don't know where it is. It'll have the most random things in there that just make me laugh so hard. It won't even be like a joke between the people. And sometimes it will be, but they'll be like the little like references to things that you know, but they can't use the name because it's like copyrighted or something like that. So they'll turn it into something else entirely, and it's just so funny. Like you gotta, if you're reading that webtoon, look for little like funny things in the background, and it's, oh my god, it's hilarious. But anyway, that's Friday. Saturday is Siren's Lament. It's really funny because like one of my subscribers was like, yeah, my friend wrote, or my friend's sister or somebody we know personally writes Siren's Lament. And I just find it really funny that you read it. I'm like, tell her that I want my ship. I want my ship to sail, sis. But I understand that she already has a story that she's doing, so it's fine. Basically, if I had to like narrow it down into what it basically is about, it's about mermaids. It's about mermaids and the curse of mermaids. That's the gist of it. Living the life and trying to no longer be a mermaid, trying to find purpose, protecting the ones that you love. And it was slow for me. Ooh, boy, was it slow. The thing is, it's a really good story, but the thing is, when you wait every week to read a new chapter, you're just like, oh my god, this is running really slow. So some people I know personally, I'm not patient enough to do this, but some people will wait like a month or two before they like come back to a webtoon. I wish I could do that, but I just, the moment I know that it's been updated, I'm like, oh, now I gotta read it, even though I'm gonna probably not be fulfilled because it's gonna take a while to get the story going. And then the third one I read pretty often. I do read other ones, but these are the ones that I keep up like with consistently. The third one I read is My Dear Cold-Blooded King. Now, it started off and I was like, why am I reading this? It's, first of all, it's one of the most beautiful webtoons I've ever seen. Just very complex artistically, and that's what drove me to it. Just gorgeous, ornate buildings and clothing, and it's just a lot, right? I don't want to describe it because people are gonna be like, really, Kendall? Really? This is what you read? But it's like a reverse harem. It's about this girl that for whatever reason every guy friggin' loves her, and I'm trying to understand why. I'm like, shy, but okay. I'm trying to tell you the story without ruining anything. Basically, she's like a peasant girl. Again, that whole like dynamic. It's the rich guys and the girl that has no money, and she's raising herself through some form of social, up the social ladder, quote unquote, in one way or another. And you know, she's this like inexplicably lovable girl, even though she's like, you know, because she's strong-willed and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, we've read this before. But it's great. It's a great trope of as far as they go. And anyway, she ends up working in the kingdom as a physician, and everyone falls in love with her for some reason. And then she ends up joining their like military, and people still love her. I'm not going to explain much more than that. It's better if you read it, first of all. But it's getting better. It's like really, I've been reading that one again since it started, just because it was so beautiful, like aesthetically. The first few chapters are mad cheesy. But I actually read it over again because I was getting confused because of that whole like month in between, you know? not month, week in between each episode, so you forget the stuff that happened in the last episode. And when I read it over, I realized that the storyline itself is actually not super complex so far, but it's more to it than I thought. But I think because there's so many, you know, hot guys, a little bit distracting. So when you read it over, you're like, oh, I didn't even catch that. I'm gonna go in with 2 powders. This one is from Shu Uemura. Did I pronounce that right? I don't know. Shu Uemura. And this is their colorless powder. The second one I'm gonna use is the Laura Mercier in translucent medium deep. But it does have like the, you know, that little bit of warmth to it, which is probably why they created it. Like, I can't tell if this is just a hair too deep for me. This is my first time using it on camera. I think it kind of tones down parts of my face. So I'm gonna just keep this on the outer part of my face to set that. This is a beautiful powder though, so I'll probably go back and get the other color. Or are there 2? I don't remember. Is there like a banana version of Laura Mercier powder? I don't think so. That would probably be best. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, I've been enjoying reading those a whole lot. Some past favorites, of course, Winterwoods. I've talked about that. If I ever recommend anybody to read any webtoon, even if you don't like webtoons, if you're gonna read a story, please read Winterwoods. It is just perfection. I'm actually planning to read it over again, and I don't reread nothing. So unless I'm like really confused, but I'm not even confused. That just story is just amazing. Go on my eyes. Yeah, just use a little puff. This bad boy is a really good powder. Actually, no, they're similar in texture, actually. The Shu Uemura one is like really fine. Like, you almost don't know that there's powder on you. But just like most of these type powders, it flashes back like a mother butt. Another story that I am reading, but I'm just not as consistent with, is Egnoid. Egnoid is very fascinating story. Gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer and saddle. So Egnoid is like another one of those stories that when I explain it, it sounds like mad weird. It's about this girl who lives alone in a house that her parents built for her before they died in a car crash. And she's kind of a loner. She only has like one friend. And in her loneliness, suddenly appears like a giant egg in her bedroom. And out pops like a friggin' 17-year-old hot guy. Of course, you know the story. You know, it's a very popular one. And basically, he is completely and utterly like a child mentally. And he starts like following her and befriending her. And she starts like protecting and taking care of him. Kind of like a mom, but that's kind of weird because you still sense this like idea that they're probably gonna be like together romantically. But so far, I'm not to the newest chapter, so I don't know. But I'm a season or 2 in. It's a weird story. But she's like teaching him how to be a human being and like ultimately how to survive, you know, the life of a 17-year-old. And ultimately, I think it's just really well done, the way that they do it. It's like, she's this kind of loner, and you can feel like her anxieties around people and around friends. I feel like it's a very coming-of-age story. I feel like I would have really resonated with it when I was like in high school and stuff. It's just very succinct and well done in executing that kind of those awkward emotions you go through when you're a teenager, you know? And then they add this kind of like weird supernatural element where she has a pet egg who's like this hot blonde guy. You know, kind of that art of making friends, being like a social butterfly, kind of those anxieties you feel if you're not a social butterfly. You feel like you're a failure in one way or another. Those freaking docs! Get your docs! Another really popular one is lookism. I just haven't gotten around the lookism. Everybody keeps recommending it to me, so I do really want to like set a week aside to just sit down and read it, because I get so many people recommending it to me. I feel like it's a shame that I haven't read more of it. I only read like a chapter or two. Now, lookism, from what I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't really read that much of it, so I can't really say, but from the beginning, what I'm noticing is it's like the story of this like awkward social pariah type kid in high school, and he's not particularly socially considered attractive. And by the way, I'm going in with one of the Sem's blushes in RD03 Trench Rose. It's a really pretty color. He's not considered like socially super hot. It's actually considered quite unattractive. Basically, he's like bullied in school, and he's just made to be everyone's like punching bag essentially. And so he just wakes up one day hot. And it's like how his life has changed since, you know, suddenly being hot. From the few chapters that I've read, I must say it is very well executed in like such a interesting way. And I just oh my god, I know I'll love it. That's the thing, like I know I'll love it, but I just haven't read it yet. But since the thing is, if you the one I was talking about before, the one with the harem and everything, that one's on hiatus because the author had the nerve to bear children. She just had a baby, so it put the entire like story on hold for a bit, and that just made me so angry because it ended on a cliffhanger. So I guess since I don't have anything to read on Sundays, I guess I should start on Lookism, because I ain't mad at all that she was doing. First of all, I had no idea she was an adult. I thought she was like a college student. Well, like that's an adult too, but you know what I mean? Like not a whole ass adult. So that just made me so mad when I realized. I was like, are you serious? The way you ended this, it ended on such a cliffhanger, and I was just so angry. Oh my god. So I'm gonna wait, like, because now I have no choice. I'm gonna wait like 2 months before I start reading it again, so I can like be up to date, you know? That blush is so pretty, right? Ooh, put a lot of it on. I like a lot of blush, so. Okay, since we're all peachy and whatever, I'm gonna do a peachy or whatever eye. Okay, collarbones! I'm sorry. I remember when I didn't have collarbones anymore. I didn't realize how sad of a day that was for me until I got my collarbones back. So this is the Nature Republic Pro Touch Color Master eyeshadow palette, the spring edition. If you guys recall, I have the original of this and I didn't like it at first, and then I realized, Kendall, you're just kind of using it wrong. And then I end up really liking it. So now I like wanted to get the new one because it's like these peachy colors, kind of these rosy pinky colors. Take this like peach. But yeah, lookism is something I definitely want to get into reading. I just haven't been reading just in general enough recently. I did go to a comic book store a few days ago with my friend. We were being artsy black girls in Le City, and we came across, it's a pretty popular like chain of bookstores, I think. I don't know. It was a comic book store. And I was just looking through all the comics, and I saw Tomie. I pronounced that hella Korean accent. Sorry. I swear, I am never going to be able to speak another foreign language without it sounding like I have a Korean accent. And how do you explain that to people? It's like, oh, I think we were talking to some Korean girl. Nope, that's Kendall. She's black. What? Why does she have a Korean accent? Great question. Was she born in Korea? No. Is Korean her first language? No. It's just how the foreign language part of my head works. But anyway, Tomie. It's like a horror manga. And girl, it's a lot already. I bought like this giant book of like the complete series because it's an old like horror story manga type thing, and it came out, I want to say, in the late 80s. And basically it's a story of, well, at least what I'm noticing so far, I'm like 4 of the short stories, because they're all like short stories, they have to do with each other, but they can kind of stand alone to some extent. It's a story of a lovely lady. It's a story of this girl named Tomie who is like really, really pretty. And they describe her as like a succubus, like this very like sexual woman and stuff like that. And she's like always hitting on all these guys. And, ooh, that's pretty. That's a pretty color. I didn't think it would be as pretty in that like wash way, but, and And basically every guy that like comes near her, his life is freaking ruined in one way or another. Well, actually, it's not just guys. It's like everyone that she's ever been near. Like, their lives are just completely ruined. And each person has this kind of like inexplicable pulse to kill her. Like, everybody want her dead, like out of their lives. And each time they kill her, she just comes back in some more screwed up way possible. I can't even explain to you why it's so creepy though. It's like, because I don't want to ruin it if you ever happen to read it. She a trip, y'all. She a trip. That's all I'm gonna say. You might be able to find it online. Again, I had never heard of it until I went into the comic book store. Apparently it has like a cult following. Like, there's people that are really into the author. I forget what his name is. Junji Ito or something like that. Something Ito. And he's like a legend in horror, Japanese horror or whatever. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, I can only imagine if it's that dude, it's probably crazy. And I'm like, it is. Like, I am shooketh. Like, it's been quite the emotional roar. Like, it got to the point I was like holding the book and something happened and I was like, ooh. like ooh, Satan, get away. like it was like that real. The art just makes it so much creepier. It like makes you itch, like you reading it and you're just like, oh no. Oh, I kind of don't even want to put more eyeshadows on it. I kind of just like how like blown out. I don't know, I think it's really cool. Oh, that's such a shame, there's so many shadows. Maybe I'll just put a tiny bit of this color just to give it a little bit more depth, but I really don't want to. I kind of like how clean this looks. I don't know. I've been hanging out more with my friend and she's like really into visiting like the art district in Detroit. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Detroit. And I like, born and raised here, and I just don't do anything here. So when people are like, Kendall, what's there to do in Detroit? I'm like, I don't know. You know better than I do. I don't leave my house. But she's like, come on, let's go out and like go to these places and these places. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I really should like explore my own backyard type thing more often. Cause I always feel like I gotta go out of town to like see new things. And it's like, you don't necessarily have to. Okay. I thought I was gonna do like a bunch of different things, but I'm not. I kind of like just how this is. So I'm gonna put mascara on. This is Peri Pera Air Wing. I haven't used this in a few videos, even though I digs it. Do something I don't think I've ever done on this channel. I think I did it once or twice on Instagram. I'm gonna do a strong as hell like blade highlight like around the tail end of my eyebrow. I don't know if somebody else has done this prior to me, but this is just something I've always liked to do. I always ask people like, what would you call it? I got two things. I got one, the shooting star brow, and then I got like a blade, like a brow blade. So call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna take a glitter liquid liner. This is like one that's kind of like a cream shadow glitter liquid liner, and this is from Bia. And it's kind of like a champagne color, and I'm gonna go, I don't know if you can see me. I'm gonna go like halfway through my brow and then draw a kind of a thin line under, and then also get the top as well. You want it to kind of like fade off into nothingness as it gets closer to the inner part. I've tried this with a few different products and I've noticed that using like a glitter liquid liner is the easiest way to do it. The business. So like it's cool. Like when you look forward, you know, you don't really see something. It just looks like a highlight on your, actually let me clean that up a little bit. But then you turn to the side and it's like, bam, there it is.
On a roller coaster ride, stay awake with me. I've been vibing all night. On a roller coaster ride, stay awake with me.
I don't know, I think it just spices it up just a little bit. Okay, for lips, I'm gonna keep it like real in the same color family type thing. This is a product that has been well loved by me, and it's super melted, and I'm so disgusted and so angry. This is my 3CE Glassy Rose lipstick, like lip balm stick type thing. Super pretty, and I just haven't used it in a while because if you haven't noticed, it's melted as hell, and it's really frustrating because like every time I try to put it in my mouth, it like breaks off. So I just like squished it into itself. so that it's like just a round shape as opposed to like a lipstick shape. It's one of those kind of like chapstick type lipstick type things. Going in with my VDL setting spray. Le Peach, and put that right in my inner corner a little bit, because oop. Okay. If you watch this long, you might as well subscribe, because like you obviously know that we're pretty dope, like we are. Why did I do it this way? I could have did it anyway. Follow me on both of my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.